What's going on, everyone? LA Sports back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about John Mara, the New York Giants owner. As of course, John Mara is a guy who came into the offseason and he did something that a lot of fans wanted to happen, and a lot of fans at the same time, they didn't really think it was going to happen. So I really like the fact that he did end up firing Joe Judge. I think it shows the fan base that he's not, doing nothing, and he's still being an active guy, and he's doing what fans want. And it's never good when owners listen to fans, but at the end of the day, this was one of those situations where it had to happen. Joe Judge, I wouldn't have, I could have lived with another year of Joe Judge, but I think if we were, hiring a new GM, I think that GM should be able to pick the head coach that he wants in order for him to have the most success he can have. So I think that John Mara definitely made the right decision in firing Joe Judge and, of course, forcing Dave Gettleman to retire. But at the end of the day, now the Giants start fresh. And in this video, I'm just going to go over a couple of the things he said, in his press conference a couple of days ago. Of course, the Giants have been on a very, very good GM search. And then, and one of the things John Mara said was once that GM is hired, he's going to have his own right to decide and pick his head coach. So I like that Mara's given him full say, and he said he's not gonna force him on Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, anybody on the roster. He said that's up to the GM, which is good to see. Mara's finally learning from the mistakes that he just previously made over the past 10 seasons of awful football from the New York Giants. So it's good to see John Mara not only doing the right things, but even owning up to his mistakes. That's something he really did in this press conference. He voiced his kind of thoughts on the team, and he said this is the most embarrassed he has ever been. That's one of the things he said. It's the most embarrassed he's ever been with his football team, which, he'd be lying to us if he said, it's not. It's been a terrible stretch for the New York Giants over the past bunch of years. And at the end of the day, it's good to see John Mara. Like I said, it's good to see him owning up to his mistakes, and hopefully he learned from them. But it certainly sounds like after listening to this press conference that he has learned from the mistake he made. That's why he moved on from the GM and, moved on from the head coach at the same time and kind of wiped it clean. Hopefully he's able to bring in the right GM. They've definitely been talking to the right guys, Joe Schoen and Ryan Poles and those kinds of guys. So it's definitely good to see Mara interviewing the right guys for the job. One of the interesting things that I caught onto from that press conference was when he said the GM and the head coach will not be a package deal, which a lot of people, as soon as they interviewed Joe Schoen, the first thing that the Giants fan base thought was, all right, he gets hired and Brian Daboll becomes the head coach of the New York Giants, who's currently the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, and then potentially Ken Dorsey becomes the offensive coordinator. He's the quarterback coach currently for the Buffalo Bills, and everything would be tied into that organization. But Mara said it's not going to be a package deal. We could absolutely still see. If they hire Joe Schoen, Schoen wants to bring in Daboll. That's up to Joe Schoen. But Mara said specifically he's not going to bring in one guy and another at the same time. So I would expect to know your GM at probably the beginning of the week next week, and then hopefully by the end of the week we'll have our head coach. But who knows? It could drag along a little bit longer than anticipated. But who knows? I think whoever in the end takes his job is going to be coming into a tough cap spot, but they're going to have a lot of draft capital. They have 5 picks inside the top 82 or 81, something like that. It's very good. 2 inside the top 7, so you're definitely getting some very good draft capital. Hopefully that guy is able to get good value, maybe even trade back. I love the idea of trading back, but I think whoever he hires is going to be a good person for this job based off the candidates. There's some very good guys, like I said, Joe Schoen, even Hortiz from Baltimore, Peters So there's definitely some very good candidates that the Giants are interviewing. Ryan Poles, so they're having a great, candidate interview period. I think that's been something that the Giants haven't done in a while. So it's very, very good to see. For me, my personal favorite choice for a head coach and GM would be the GM to be Joe Schoen. Realistically, I'm good with a lot of these candidates, but Joe Schoen for me would be my favorite. And then if you bring, my head coaching favorite would be Brian Flores. And if you do that, maybe Pat Graham stays on as the defensive coordinator. I like Pat Graham. I think he's a very smart guy, and it's not his fault that the Giants sucked last year's defense was a good unit for this team. The only thing was that they were on the field the whole time, and that led to them giving up so much points. So who knows? I'll have a video on why I think the Giants should bring in Brian Flores as the head coach very shortly, so make sure you tune in for that video. But that's all I got in this video, guys. You guys let me know down below in the comment section your thoughts on the state of the New York Giants, John Mara, the things he had to say. I thought they were very interesting things. He said, he thought another thing I forgot to say, he said, I thought we hit rock bottom, then we kept getting worse every week. So he's definitely catching on to these things. He's definitely realizing he made mistakes. He owned up to his mistakes, and he said basically it's not going to happen again. So hopefully, Mara got that all out of his system. Hopefully for the New York Giants, this is a start to a new beginning and very good and consistent football for a very long time. But like I said, you guys let me know all that good stuff down below in the comments. Look out for my Brian Flores video. It'll be out very shortly. And as always, please leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys all in the next video. Let's go Giants.